And my first guest is joining me right now. We had a brief conversation before we got on the air. She's an Indy pro wrestler from Georgia. She's definitely making a name for herself, and you may have seen her on Ring of Honor just recently. And to talk about that and so much more, I'm joined with Merica Strong right here, right now. Good evening, Merica.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing real good. I almost want to say I'm Merica Strong for a moment.
A lot of people do.
Oh,
I have to correct them.
yeah. Well, at least I avoid the part and just refer to you as America. But thank you so much for taking the time and joining me on the show this evening. Truly appreciate it.
It's no problem. Thank you for having me on.
And we'll definitely get into the Ring of Honor appearances a little bit later in the interview, but we'll start by early in your career first. Exactly
Okay.
exactly how did you get started? What got you into being a wrestler?
It was last. I guess it was the end of last year. In March, I think the last week in March. I don't remember the exact date, but it was in March of last year. I actually met Marco Polo, and I'd been thinking about doing wrestling, and I had some people tell me I should get into it. I was looking for something that would be fun, that I would be good at, and I met Marco Polo, where the store that he works in, and we started talking about lifting, and then we ended up getting on the subject of wrestling, and he told me he was a wrestler, and this was on a Monday night, that he had a training out in Porterdale with PCW for on Thursday night, and he said, well, you should come out and check it out, and you can participate, see if you like it. And and then he said, I've got a show out on your side of town on Friday night, and you can come to that with me if you want to. So I went to the training, and they had me doing back bumps and running the ropes. Basically beat me up, because it's not easy, especially when you first start. But I enjoyed it. Went to the show in Merica on that Friday night, and I met everybody, and I was in the back with them when we were talking. And I don't know exactly how we got on the subject of it, but it was something about me squatting him, being able to squat him. And the guys were like, yeah, I'm going to see it. And I'm like, okay, I'll try. So I did it. And then they wanted me to carry him to the ring on my shoulders. And I'm, okay, sure, why not? Well, it went from there. I've done that. I did that with him twice, but when we came out, the announcer didn't know what was going to happen. It was priceless. But after that show, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I trained with him a few times, and I also trained out. I started training in Douglasville with Robert Gibson at APCW for a little while. Then I ended up going to WWA 4 with Mr. Hughes in April, and I've been there ever since. I've trained off and on with some different people, just wherever I can learn something, and train before shows.
That's awesome. You definitely have made the rounds over the course of your young career, and people starting to know who you are. I've seen some of your matches already, and of course the Ring of Honor appearance as well. And you have a nice look, you have a nice physique, you're very intimidating, and you're a hell of a good wrestler. You have a great upside, you have a lot of potential, and I truly believe you are moving on to big things as your career progresses. And I mean, sky's the
Thank
limit
you.
for you.
I hope so.
So,
That's my goal.
absolutely. So, as far as the training process, I've interviewed a lot of women wrestlers throughout the years, and for majority of them have told me that they usually be the only females be training with majority of men. As we all know, women wrestling has come a long way, but yet it's still wrestling been known as a male dominant sport. Was that something that you went through when you was training, being like the only female training with the guys?
It did. There was one girl at APCW. At PCW, I trained with Dementia DeRose a few times because she would go out there. There was never very many girls. At WWA 4, when I first started there was Kira Hogan, because she'd been there a while, and I can't remember if there was any other girls right when I started, but eventually there was a couple more started, and I think there's 5 or 6 there now training. They have 2 newer girls that they're in the weekly school show that they do on Thursday nights. And they have just started getting work at shows outside of the school, too, I think. But, yes, it's majority men. But I don't have a problem with that because, honestly, I'm bigger than a lot of them. And I'm a tomboy, so I'm used to playing around with guys and playing sports with guys and stuff like that, too. So I'm used to being able to hold my own, or at least I try to.
I could definitely see that for sure. So, was there any, how do I ask this? Was there any a little hesitation from the guys as how they work with you? Like as far as, I mean, she's a female. I don't want to hurt you too bad, or will you just, or did you just like go like just treat me like everybody else? I'm a woman. I can take it. Like, was there any hesitation from any of the guys that you train with, just because you're a female?
Some guys do have that hesitation. I guess it's just the way they were raised, thinking that women are weaker or it's not to hit women or whatever the issues are. But it's like, hey, I'm here wrestling too. If I can't take it, I shouldn't be doing this. And then there's some guys that I feel like they hit me harder because I'm a girl. Mm. And then a lot of the guys that I train with and work with, they treat me just like one of the guys. So it just depends on the person, the guy that I'm working with or around. Especially if it's somebody new that I'm training with, they don't really know what to think. And a lot of the time it's the younger guys that are more intimidated or not sure what to think.
Yeah, there will be one of those people from time to time not knowing what they getting themselves into. And one mistake can hurt you and that person that's involved. So and I guess what people don't understand as far as wrestling is concerned is, although wrestlers are characters, they are humans as well, and it's important to make sure that you're good and your opponent is good. By the time y'all get the locker room, So
yes.
So I guess
it takes a lot of training. It takes a lot of training to learn how to not hurt yourself or somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. The physicality is still there. But this is not MMA. Like, you're not trying to literally kill each other, or
right.
something like that. So recently you made an appearance on Ring of Honor, and I seen a gif of you having a confrontation with some dude named Cheeseburger.
Yes.
And I'm a fan of Cheeseburger. I just think it's an odd name for a black guy being called Cheeseburger, but that's just me. But it's one thing to wrestle, and go through a wrestling match or whatever, but you to be on TV. I mean, what was your reaction when you saw yourself literally on television? Like, did you like, oh my God, that's me, or did you just like, okay, it is what it is?
It's not. I was in Nashville for a TV taping back in November of last year, also. Mm-hmm. So I got to see the video from that. It aired in December, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't watch TV, but they update the TV tapings each week on their website. So it usually will be on their website about a week after it airs on TV. So I got to see it on there, and it was pretty cool. It feels, it's not like is this a dream? Is this real? It's just weird. It's very strange to see myself on TV. And I'm waiting to see that actual, this past week, I'm waiting for it to be updated on the website so I can watch that, because they show more of me and the interaction with Cheeseburger that I have on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. They actually show more of the match, where last year the only time I was really seen was walking out to the ring, because they edited that match down.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So much going on, so much, especially when it's a tape and you got to squeeze so much into an hour-long telecast, obviously.
Yes.
So, I guess you got to make the most of the time that you're on there, and I guess whatever happens, happens.
Yes. I was just thankful I was there, and because I've been to Ring of Honor 3 times now, and I'm thankful just to be there when it happens. I'm like, okay, this is cool. Especially the first time I was there was last August, and I'd only been training about 4 months. And I fell into the role, I guess, by pure luck. And when I went to Anarchy, and I got put with P-Dog, who was doing the wrestling himself, I got put in his group with the Get Along Gang, because I went to Anarchy, and they kind of put me with that group. So I got lucky. But that's why I go to whatever shows I can go to just to be seen and get the exposure, practice. It's like, hey, I'm here. You want to use me? I've got my stuff.
So one thing I noticed as it pertains to, shows like Ring of Honor, NXT, etc. I mean, there are wrestlers that do make appearances, but they're not necessarily under contract per se.
Right.
So
right.
That being said, and I know you only made a few appearances and all, but is that something that you will be up for, like being on a contract with them one day, or do you feel like you need to, continue to evolve before, okay, that I'm ready for that long term per se?
I do have a lot more training, because I've just started actually having matches myself, getting in the ring instead of doing the bodyguard stuff, where I just get involved a little bit in the match. So I've got to get more comfortable having my own matches, but I do want to have a Women of Honor match, hopefully in the future. And then if they want to sign me as a contract, I'm down for it, because I really like Ring of Honor, and I don't think they're as strict of a contract as far as like WWE, NXT. I don't think they travel near as much. I don't really know. I don't know their schedule. I don't think you're tied down as much as WWE and NXT with Ring of Honor, because it's more of an indie promotion also.
Yeah.
It's just a really big indie promotion.
Yeah, one thing for sure, Ring of Honor, I mean, they do maybe a few shows a week or whatever, but they not on the road literally every day like WWE is. Like,
right, and I have a 6-year-old son, so I don't know if I want to be on the road that much.
Yeah.
I'm not going to turn it. I probably wouldn't turn it down if I got the offer.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to figure something out, and I'd have a lot of friends kicking my butt if I turned it down, but I don't really know that I want to be on the road that much.
It's understandable. Family definitely plays a role in making a decision like that, especially if you have a kid and you're not going to be able to see that kid that much, and you're going to miss out on a lot of important things and such.
Right.
So that decision it could be a struggle. You literally wrestling on whether do I want to be here and pursue my dream, and then in the process missing out on some important things for my kid.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So Merica, who do you consider like your influences, people that you looked up to or maybe idolized in your wrestling career?
That's a hard one. 'Cause I work with so many great indie wrestlers in the locker room with them all the time. I do the torture rack, Lex Luger's torture rack. And of course, I get compared to China all the time. But as far as like people that I see as role models and look up to, I'm learning a lot from Amber O'Neil, Gallows, being on Merica with her. Jimmy Rave, anytime I'm in a locker room with him, he knows his stuff. He's great. Iceberg, my boyfriend Andy Anderson, he knows. He's been doing it for a long time. He runs NWA Atlanta, and I'm learning a lot from him and his tag partner Payne, who I work with. I learned a lot from a lot of the indie wrestlers. Tommy Too Much. I still do work with him at Peach State in Carrollton, Georgia, and he's taught me a lot more about psychology and being more of an entertainer than actually wrestling and doing a lot of spots and flipping and all the stuff that I'm not good at and probably never will be good at. But he's expressed how it's not about what all you can do as fast as you can do it in the ring. It's about entertaining the crowd and telling a story and then making sure that story makes sense. So there's a lot of people that I've learned a lot from, and I still learn a lot from. I try to learn from anybody I can.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I know from talking to a lot of wrestlers is that no matter if you're just getting started or you are established, you can always learn so much more.
Mhm.
You can always learn, you know, so much more, whether it's in the ring or outside the ring, or whether it's traveling, uh, things of that nature. Um, so, what do you consider your most favorite thing about being a wrestler? Is it the traveling? Is it hanging out with your peers in the locker room, fan interaction? Like, what do you enjoy the most of being a wrestler?
I've never actually thought about that. I'm supposed to start traveling more, and that's really cool. But I just like being at the shows, hanging out with the other wrestlers, talking to the fans. Of course, I can't talk to the fans as much because I'm a heel, but it's when I do, and I still have people come up for autographs and pictures, and it's just really cool, especially with the kids. I think that may be my favorite part is when the kids come up and are all excited to have a picture and an autograph, and especially little girls that have somebody to look up to, a strong female role model that they can look up to because they're used to seeing guys wrestling, and there's not as many girls for them to look up to. And in this world today, there's not a lot of positive female role models in general. So that's kind of nice that I can focus on that, and the ones that are into wrestling, I can give them somebody to look up to. That's probably the best part. And then my son loves it too. He thinks it's really cool.
Now, considering you're a wrestler and all, and your son loves wrestling, and I know he's just young, so he's got a long way to decide what he wants to do as a career is concerned. But has he ever given you any hints as of, you know, I want to be a wrestler just like you when you grow up? Has there been any hints of that such?
I actually asked him before, and he told me no, he wants to be a businessman.
Ah.
I don't know. But every time we go to a show, as soon as the show is over, he's asked me, can I get in the ring? And he usually does.
Kids, they always find their ways, do they? They always find their way for sure. So who are some wrestlers out there that you haven't had a chance to work with yet, but would like to step in the ring against one day?
That I don't know. I've never really thought about that. Because I get to work with some cool people. This past weekend I was in the ring with Tommy Dreamer. That was really cool.
Wow.
I don't know. I've never really thought about that. I may get to be in the ring with Awesome Kong coming up. I thought that was really cool.
Okay.
I don't know. It would be cool to work with China if she still work.
You know what they say in the wrestling business, never say never. Anything can happen.
I know she still does appearances, and she may be in Texas. I think I saw she's going to be in Texas for WrestleCon, so I'm hoping I get to meet her.
Yeah.
I don't know if she'll be at the show. I don't know if she'll be at the show that Saturday night or not.
Mm-hmm. I think I may have a chance to meet her too. She's going to be in my neck of the woods in Kentucky. I say 2 weeks from now. Actually, yeah, a week from this weekend. So, you know.
She was in Atlanta for Days of the Dead. I think I was in Nashville. I'm pretty sure I was in Nashville for ROH the day she was in Atlanta, because I saw somebody post a picture of her in Atlanta that weekend. I was like, because I almost went to that Days of the Dead, but I obviously wasn't going to turn down ROH.
Yeah. ROH knocking on your door, you answer it, pretty much.
Yes.
My last question for you, Merica, is for those who wants to learn more. Well, actually, I got 2 more questions. And speaking of shows, why don't you go ahead, promote your shows, let people know what you got coming up, and what role are you playing in those particular shows?
Tomorrow I head to Fayetteville, Tennessee for New South. Will be there with P-Dog Mike Posey as his bodyguard, part of the Get Along gang. Saturday night we're headed down to Hartsville, Alabama for New South also. Next weekend on the 19th I actually have a singles match against Pandora, who is she's been around Alabama and Georgia for a while. She's a really good female wrestler, so it should be an interesting match. I have a match with her Saturday night at Peach State in Carrollton. Following weekend, I don't have anything. And then Thursday night, March 31st, I will be in Texas for NWA Parade of Champions. April 1st, I'll be, I think it's Dallas, Texas for ROH that Friday night. Saturday, they have another ROH show in the afternoon. The Saturday night, I'll be at for WrestleCon. And all those others, the only match that I have out of those is the Peach State show. The other, I'll just be doing manager, just interfering, whatever it takes to help P-Dog win. The NWA show, I'll be there with the Faces of Death, Andy Anderson and Payne. So we'll see. And I've got other shows coming up after that, but I post everything on my social media. I don't have my calendar with me to know exactly what I've got.
Speaking of social media, why don't you go ahead and promote those links as well? Twitter, Facebook, anything people need to check out.
On Facebook, you can find me Merica Strong. I use Facebook more than anything. I'm trying to learn how to use Instagram and Twitter. I post everything. I definitely post all my shows and all my pictures, videos, and everything on Facebook. On Instagram, it is The Real Merica, and Twitter, it's Merica_strong.
Well, America, it was great chatting with you. Thank you so much for your time. Continued success, and look forward to see you continue to evolve in your career. Now, and again, thank you for your time, America. Truly appreciate it.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Thank you again for having me on. You have a good night.
You too.
Okay.
All right,
Bye.
bye-bye. That was Merica Strong from Georgia.